Welcome back to the channel, everybody. BlackRock, NASDAQ, Bloomberg head to Ripple swell. You think they're just there to speak? What did representatives from Ripple say years ago? They said when we go to these events, not talking about Ripple swell, they were talking about other events. But it doesn't matter because you can apply that mentality that they have to every event. What did they say? When they go to events, they're there to meet new clients. They're there to make new connections, which makes perfect sense. Same thing I would be doing, right? You have all this opportunity in front of you. Of course, I already believe, we know BlackRock is showing its outward support already. We know that they're on Wall Street the same time Brad Garlinghouse is on Wall Street trying to get them into crypto. What does that tell you? You think they're doing a Bitcoin ETF. You think they're not going to get deep with XRP? Of course, they're not going to leave money on the table. No way. You got NASDAQ, whoever's representing them and their connections they're bringing to the table. Bloomberg, whatever connections they're bringing to the table. You don't see the golden age opening just that little bit more. Every day we're learning potent information. Did you see the last two videos? Go check them out. Even if just look at the first chapters. Just look at the first chapters and take those articles and documents, do a Google search on them. That's all you got to do. Go to those videos and just pause it on those and take those articles and go look up and see so you can get that information. There's a lot happening, especially in the financial system. That's who's going to hand the big money over. The bank money is the one that makes the first massive explosion when it comes to the bank coins. Then RWA later. So if you want to know about the bank money, you got to keep up with the banks. We've been covering the banks heavy here. Those last 2-3 videos, just go to the first chapters and just get those articles. That's it. Pause it and get the articles and then move on. I mean, hey, so anyway, I think that's highly relevant for people to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. You have to see what I've seen. And then once again, if you get time, go over to that members only section, look at the postings, look at the documents that have been posted, read those. You see them highlighted red lines? Just read those. It's going to tell you a lot about where everything is going. Then when you hear news like this, right? Not the Ripple swell, but they released another thing at the same time. So BlackRock, NASDAQ, and Bloomberg head to Ripple swell, but then you get this here. You make it this far? If you like this type of content, take those powerful hands of yours. The power is in your hands. And hit that like button. You have a lot of power. Use a little bit of it. Now, at the same time, look at this. October 28th, in other news, release October 28th, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. Crypto and gold are assets of fear, quote unquote. Don't take it the wrong way. He's not saying it how it appears. He says, amid debt concerns, debt. We've been talking about debt free. I told people, how do you fund everything if there's no capital? I mean, you can only go so far before you start running dry. Things start becoming illiquid. You can only print so much false liquidity before there's a big bubble. Then the bubble pops. Folks, so and if you look at what happens with a rising debt, whether it's U.S. or global, let's just take U.S., that affects everything that the so-called government's supposed to have its hands in. I showed it before, screenshots, look that up. People don't understand. What are they going to do? When the system has to be shut down before it can be replaced. The base of a house must be ripped out, torn down before you build a new one. These people are not ready for that. That's why everyone is protecting themselves with gold. There's a fiat currency problem. There's a financial system problem. They're protecting themselves with gold. They're protecting themselves with crypto because crypto is where the big money is going to be made. That's where the gains are. You make the gains in crypto. You protect what you have already in gold. Right? Am I right or am I wrong? Huh? You tell me. Now, let's go here. They're telling. This is coming from Larry Fink. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has declared that investors are rushing into crypto. You're making me agree with Larry Fink. See, when you're right, you're right. Simple as that. When you're right, you're right. I've been saying this for years. Now you're hearing it from Larry Fink. But when I said it, so many people came against me. Perfectly fine. I've stood my ground. Now you're hearing from Larry Fink. Are people going to go against him as well? Because now he's saying everyone's ringing the alarm. What can you do? That explosion in crypto. What's crypto, really? When they say crypto, what are they speaking about right now? They're talking about the top cryptocurrencies. Notice how they used to only say Bitcoin. Now they're just saying crypto. You don't think there's a reason for that? That's everything that they do is deliberate. Now they're just saying crypto. What do they mean? What does crypto encompass? Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Chainlink. Those are the big ones right now that they're focused on. There's other ones that come behind them, also powerful, also going to have their moments. But that is the allotment that these big money ones are zeroed in on and expecting to capitalize on first. Let's keep going. So Larry Fink has declared that investors are rushing into crypto and precious metals, such as gold, as, quote, assets of fear, unquote, driven by mounting concerns over spiraling government debt worldwide. I'm glad I said that, worldwide, not just U.S. So many people focus on the U.S. for years. I've been talking about global debt, right? Videos are still up. Proof. Because it's important. All of these systems are intertwined. Hence, the new financial system is a global thing, which is why you have to look at all the available money that can be scooped up. Value. I shouldn't say money. I just prefer to say money. Value that can be scooped up globally, not just U.S. U.S. is just a very, very tasty aspect of the cake, but nevertheless, the entirety of the world's value is on the table, ready to be chopped up. And someone is getting a big slice of that cake. Oh, man. Do you remember that movie, Congo, right? They trained a monkey, not a monkey, a gorilla to talk. And then there's a part in the movie where they are in a particular country, and Delroy Lindo, very good actor. If you don't know Delroy Lindo, classic, great actor, in my humble opinion. And I can't remember the gentleman's name. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he's eating a piece of Delroy Lindo's cake, and he says, "Stop eating my coffee cake." Remember that? That was just such a memorable moment. He's like, "Mr. Hamakama, stop eating my coffee cake." Remember that? Memorable moments. They just don't have moments like that anymore. If you know, you know. If you've seen the movie, you know that was a memorable part. Everybody was running around saying, "Stop eating my coffee cake." After they saw that. Anyway, so driven by mounting concerns over spiraling government debt. I recommend that movie if you want to watch a good movie. Congo, 1995 or 6. That's when it came out. My apologies. My nose hairs are coming out and poking the heck out of me right now. Oh, clip them. I am going to clip them. They grow fast. Like you see, my hair grows fast. It doesn't grow slow. Quote, owning crypto assets or gold assets of fear, unquote, Fink said during his appearance at the Future Investment Initiative conference in Riyadh. According to a Bloomberg report, here's another quote. "You own these assets because you're frightened of the debasement of your assets. You're worried about your financial security." Who is he speaking to? Because it's not the regular people out there. What? So he's taking it very lightly, but he's sort of pointing people in a direction. Global debt. What is that tied to? Who's the cause of that? What system is the cause of the global debt? What system is the cause of all the different problems in the financial system? And when you answer that, you know that the new financial system is here to replace that and fix those problems. And someone's going to make a bounteous profit off of it. Let's keep going. You're worried about your financial security. Who? To whom do you speak, sir? You're worried about your physical... Wait, what? I'm not worried. What? You're worried about your physical security, unquote. In what way do you mean that, sir? I'm not worried about anything physical at all. I keep it on my hip. If that's what you mean, somebody else there like, me too, Mick. I know. I'm not worried about a thing. I don't live that way. I don't live in fear, but you say you're worried about your physical security. So, I mean, he probably is talking about maybe commodities or something like that. I assume, but to extrapolate it could mean in a different way. I wish he would have clarified, because if you have these problems with global debt and the funding of certain very, very key aspects of society, whether people like it or not, some people rely on those particular things, then there could be the possibility of a panic. And you know how people behave when there's tension in the air and panic. And those seeds have been sown everywhere. You know, whether it's not funding certain things that can cause certain societal problems, but also if there's bank runs that can cause societal problems as well. And because we're looking at so much contagion, so many banks interlinked, that's what one of those videos in the last 2 days was about. That's what I'm saying. Go check those out if you haven't already. Potent. Listen, it's difficult to come up with titles and thumbnails and all that kind of stuff like that. But the videos are going to be potent. Just tap in, click in, come to view, because you know the content is going to be there. I try to entertain from time to time. Sure, I like to, just not just for the audience, but for myself, so I don't get bored. But the content, I'm going to give you the best that I can. And even if you just want to pop in real quick and take the articles, do that and just go do your own research. I want people to become researchers and look and see for themselves. And but that's just my desire, my opinion. It's not advice. It's not direction. Let's keep going. He's telling a lot today, is he not? Is this not potent? I believe it is. He's talking some more. Larry Fink said, "I'm on my way out the door, and while I'm at it, I have a thing to say. Let me have your ear." Quote, "The renewed focus on the so-called debasement trade, where investors move away from fiat currencies." What investors is he speaking about? Investors? Just tell the truth. Anybody who's in the know is moving away from fiat currencies. Just tell the truth, sir. But let's keep going. I mean, you're saying as much as you can, because at a certain point, even your safety would be in danger. We all know that. There's a certain things you touch on them too heavily, certain things you say, and it's just a fact. And you just have to be careful. I'll just say that. You just have to be careful. You should know that, like everyone else knows that. There's certain things where it gets a little dangerous, period. I'll leave it at that. So he's just being careful. But anyway, he says, from fiat currencies into hard assets is rooted in a clear trend. Purchasing power is weakening in light of both fiscal and monetary policy leeway that's been developing for years. Hence why it's going to be very difficult for them to, I can't even say repair it, but hold off the inevitable. And it's the inevitable demise of whatever people know of as a financial reality today, which will be replaced. There's always a continuity. There's something else, which will be replaced with something else, which is the new financial system. It says, especially on the U.S. dollar side. Listen, look how he says especially. Right. Because the U.S. has massive problems that are being buried. No one wants to talk about it. The people are distracted with bread and circus. So it's, I mean, this pathway we're on is leading to an inexorable point, an inexorable nexus where there has to be decisions, tough decisions that are going to be made. Unquote. It says Fabian Dorey, chief investment officer at Sygnum Bank. So it's not just Larry Fink speaking now. Now it's Fabian Dorey of Sygnum Bank. So the bankers are out. The large asset managers and bankers are out, and they're telling. Big news today. How many people are grasping this? And, you know, hey, share this. You could share this video with people if you want so they can get this information, or take the article, go to the article, take the article and send it to your people. The article's on Yahoo Finance. I don't know these people here. I'm not promoting them. I'm just saying you can take the article on Yahoo Finance, and somewhere on here should be a share button, and send it to your people to read this if you desire. So, yeah. So I'm just promoting the information. Here you go. Here's another quote. There are good reasons why the private investors, right. See, now you're getting closer to the truth. I'm glad you said that. Private investors. Whoa, he goes deeper. Look at this. I can't believe some of the stuff they're saying right now. Hey, listen, all I can do is give you my genuine reaction. I have to say that because I know somebody out there's like, Mick, why are you reacting like what? Reacting like what? That's my natural reaction. I gotta just be me. It can't be you. Maybe that doesn't wow you. It does wow me because they're so tight-lipped. The banks have kept things so tight that at times, as a researcher over the years, I've gone back to get documents. They deleted them. Thank goodness people are saving them. I'm saving some of them. Not all of them, some of them. But there's ones I didn't save, and I never expected them to delete certain documents. And they did. And I go there and it says, this page doesn't exist anymore. What? So that's why I'm like, whoa. So now it tells me, coming from those experiences, there must be something happening that's different now where they're speaking openly about these things. There's no more burying. They're coming out with all the secrets now. All right. So it says there are good reasons why private investors, banks, and institutions may start to hedge using Bitcoin. Folks, firstly, let's just be clear here. They're going to go heavy, but they're not going to speak about XRP. They're not. XRP is your alternator in your car engine. It's your serpentine belt. It's that which you do not see. That which it makes everything function and run, and everyone needs it. They need XRP. They know it. They're all in bed with Ripple and XRP. Bank of America praising them. Santander praising them. BlackRock's at their event. We could go on and on and on. They have former government officials on their team. Everyone's in bed with XRP. So let's be clear, XRP is on the table. They're going to go heavy with XRP, but Bitcoin is the body of the car. It's what they see. People love the body of the Lamborghini, but do they know what's in the engine? Most don't. Most do not. People love Ferrari, the body of Ferrari. That's Bitcoin, the body. They love that. But do they know what's in the engine of Ferrari? XRP is the engine of the Ferrari. So those two go hand in hand. Although Bitcoin, I do believe, is going to skyrocket in value, XRP is the real prize, and they know it. The bank coins in general, I just say XRP to represent all of them, is out front. XRP and the bank coins are the real prize. My humble opinion, not financial advice. But he says institutions may start to hedge using Bitcoin. Translation, he's had multiple meetings where this was discussed or this would not be brought up here. And he's projecting based upon those conversations, or else there would be no point in saying such a thing if it was just absolutely baseless. So translation, private investors, banks, and institutions are going to start to hedge using Bitcoin. But is that really what they're going to do? Or do they just see Bitcoin sitting there? And they know from previous bull runs led by retail did so well that these institutions know Bitcoin is going to be easy to run up as a moneymaker. Let's just be honest. They know it. That sponge, it's the sponge that fills up to the absolute limit, and they're going to squeeze that sponge for everything it's worth. Having seen what retail did before, and knowing that with their power, with their connections, the institutions, the banks, etc., governments, that they could quadruple that at minimum. That's why all these people are saying $1 million Bitcoin, $2 million Bitcoin. That's where that mentality comes from. Yes, is it a little outlandish? Does it sound that way? Sure. Do they know Bitcoin is going to skyrocket to somewhere absolutely mind-blowing? I also agree with that. How high? Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? You tell me. I don't know. I just know it's going to go much higher than where it is now. That's why they're trying to shake everybody out. We shall see, folks. We shall see. Then look at this. Oh, this was a powerful day today. I have a piece of Bitcoin. Here we go. Right here. Ooh-wee. Powerful day today. Take those powerful hands and hit that like button. This article is titled, look at this. France proposes national Bitcoin reserve. I told you they're all going to do it. Unless they're foolish. Bitcoin is money on the table of which anyone can have some. Right, for now, they know it. The public hasn't all the way caught on just yet. There hasn't been a mass push just yet. They're all getting in position. One by one, they will get in. The environment is becoming super bullish, is it not? Let's read this little tidbit here. France proposes national Bitcoin reserve wants to buy 2% of Bitcoin supply. So France's UDR party, I have no idea what that is. All right. I just want to clarify that. I don't keep up with politics, especially not foreign politics. My apologies. I just don't. You have to look that up on your own. But it says here is led by an individual named Eric Ciotti, is introducing its first comprehensive crypto bill to create a national Bitcoin strategic reserve. If this multitude of nations is going to be holding Bitcoin for whatever time period, doesn't matter if they hold it for a day, years, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to affect that price. There's just too many big timers getting involved for that price to remain where it is now, 114,000, 112,000. That is going to, in a future time, that's going to seem like it was nothing. You're going to reminisce, think back and say, whoa. I remember when Bitcoin was 112. Can you believe Bitcoin was $112,000 at one time? Right. In my humble opinion. So now let's go here. It continues, aiming to acquire 2% of Bitcoin supply, 420,000 BTC. Let's see if they actuate on it. I know they have to do it. They're just saying it. Doesn't mean they're going to actuate upon it. I am clear on that. All right, let's keep going. Over 7 to 8 years to strengthen financial sovereignty. Right. And they have to do that because they've been having a lot of problems with commodities in other countries. France's heavy I don't know if they remain heavy, but they were once very heavy in Africa with, extracting many commodities as such, which positioned France at a very key place for its existence as it's known. And for the last few years, they've been having a few problems with getting commodities out of Africa. So it makes sense to pivot to something else that might be a prime moneymaker, value bringer like Bitcoin. Right? Makes sense. It says a pro-crypto bill will be tabled today in French Parliament by lawmaker Eric Ciotti, marking the first time such a comprehensive legislative proposal on cryptocurrency has been introduced in France. The initiative calls for a national Bitcoin strategic reserve and aims to position the cryptocurrency as a form of, quote, digital gold to strengthen financial sovereignty. The proposed legislation would see France aim to acquire 2% Bitcoin. Why did they say that? They said that like 3 times already. We get it. We understand. We know. Okay, we heard you. To manage the reserve. See, I'm starting to wonder, folks, I hate to question it. I know, but I have to. Is AI writing these articles for these people? Does AI write like this? I'm just asking questions. I don't know. I use a little AI to generate some images, but that's about it. Maybe I do some AI to look up something that has to do with a historical figure like Plotinus or Plato or Socrates or something like that. Other than that, I don't know how it writes, but this repetition doesn't seem normal that they've been doing in articles. Not that it would matter, right? I guess it just matters that the information is current and correct, I suppose. Anyway, but it's a pet peeve of mine. That annoys me, that repetition. Let's keep going. Funding for the Bitcoin reserve would come from multiple sources. Surplus nuclear and hydroelectric energy would power public Bitcoin mining operations with adapted taxation for miners to encourage domestic participation. Okay, all right. I follow so far. Back in July, French lawmakers submitted a proposal to convert surplus electricity into economic value through Bitcoin mining. The bill outlined a 5-year experimental program allowing energy producers to use excess power, particularly from See that? It repeated again. They said that up top in one way and said the same thing down here in another. Listen to this. The bill outlined a 5-year experimental program, that's new, allowing energy producers, but this is the same part, to use excess power, particularly from nuclear and renewable sources for mining. Why would they repeat that? If this is written by a person, why would they repeat that? This is from BitcoinMagazine.com. I don't know. The July, and I would say, even if they're using AI to write this, just make the AI stop being repetitious. Just please do that. You don't have to. I'm just requesting. The July initiative aimed to tackle France's recurring issue of energy overproduction. as producers were often forced to sell surplus electricity, really, at a loss due to limited storage. The proposal described this as an, quote, unacceptable economic and energy loss, unquote. That's a little harsh. A little tough. This new bill would also allow France to retain crypto seized during legal proceedings, and a quarter of funds collected via popular savings schemes, such as the Livret A and the LDDS, whatever that is, would be allocated to daily Bitcoin purchases, approximately 15 million euros per day or 55,000 BTC per year. So what I'm reading from all of this activity is Bitcoin remains super bullish. What is all that? Can you hear that? The neighbor has some new dogs, right? And here's how you know those dogs are loud. Our houses are not that close together. There's a pretty good space between houses around here. Pretty good space. Those dogs are loud. What is going on? Do the dogs not need to be trained? I'm just asking questions, folks. All right. So now that you have that information, I don't know if you can hear that or not. Now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.